I'm about as real as they come.
All my beats tailored by Joe. House Digital.
Maserati Rick in Detroit. Convertible bird in Miami. Graduated summa cum laude. Strip club made a tsunami. Carlton Hines with the ball game. Grateful Edmonds with the snowflakes. Craig Pettis in the M-Town. Sal Magluta with the boat game. Falcone with the cocaine. Like Freeway Ricky with the plug game. Like Monster Cody in South Central. Larry Davis from close range.
Officers are having to comb through 3 different crime scenes like this to find out what led up to a deadly shooting in North Austin. KVU's Bryce Newberry joins us now with what police know so far. Bryce.
Yeah, Patrick, tonight we know a man in his early 20s is dead and another man in his late 20s was injured. Now, it all happened around 1:30 this afternoon on North Lamar Boulevard. A deadly shooting spanned a stretch of North Lamar Boulevard near Justin Lane. Police investigated 3 scenes, one at a body shop, another at a motel just north of it, and the last at Passionate Spirits liquor store. At the body shop, a man in his early 20s died. And at the liquor store, medics took a man in his late 20s to the hospital with potentially life-threatening injuries. He's now in stable condition.
We believe that these individuals somehow knew each other, so we don't believe that it was a robbery of any sort.
Police detained some people of interest but have not announced any formal arrests. And as of now, officers don't know a motive or if there was more than one shooter. This afternoon's shooting brings us to 33 homicides in Austin so far this year. By comparison, APD reported 34 homicides in 2018 and 25 in 2017. In the studio, Bryce Newberry.
The talented, beautiful Sasha Skare.
Blur through my vision, give me proper position, give me proper provision, pay me no attention, do it, get it lifted, thank God cause I'm gifted, you must got me twisted, coming at me wicked, should I be killing simply? Make some motherfucking noise, I wanna hear y'all. I wouldn't try to compare myself to anyone. I try to be different from everybody else. You don't wanna fall in love with me. Can you just let me be?
We want to check back in on our breaking news in Maynard tonight. A propane tank caused an explosion, injuring 3 people. KXAN's Kevin Clark joining us live from the scene. Kevin, what do you know?
Well, again, those 3 people are in critical condition, and in the last few minutes we were able to get closer as first responders have left. I know it's difficult to see, but the explosion, which we now know was the result of a propane tank, a 200-gallon propane tank. You can see down that path, awfully dark, but that's where we saw crews coming out just a few minutes ago, basically checking for a leak. We do know that 3 people, again, critically injured. 2 were airlifted to Del Seaton Hospital. The other was transported in an ambulance. It's 2 men and a woman. And just to give you a sense of a timeline, when we were here about 8 o'clock, that's when we saw that helicopter airlifting the victims over to the hospital. We will, of course, keep you updated with this developing story, both in our newscast and on our website, KXAN.com. For now,
New at 5, a man found dead, apparently gunned down in his La Cantera apartment, is being remembered by those who knew him as a music artist who stood out from all the rest.
And as Devin Clark reports, he was considered one of a kind, not only for his lyrical talents, but also his unusually humble personality.
Brian Mitchell thinks back to brighter days, recording in his studio with his friend, 34-year-old Martel DeRuin, known to many by his rap name, Cordon.
He was his real subtle dude, man. Quiet.
While considered talented, unlike many other up-and-coming rappers, DeRuin was also known for being humble. Mitchell says even though DeRuin was Beyonce's cousin, he never used her name to benefit him.
That's not even something he would even mention to people. We just have to put it in his bios because it's worthy to put in there, but he doesn't like stuff like that.
On Tuesday, DeRuin was found shot to death at his apartment and the Towers complex in La Cantera.
I couldn't believe it.
The hunt is on for a 21-year-old woman wanted in connection with the murder of a man whose body was found inside a La Cantera Parkway apartment. Eyewitness News reporter Jeremy Baker has the latest on the search.
The victim, 34-year-old Martel Duren, was found by police with a gunshot wound at an apartment complex off La Cantera Parkway on Tuesday. Someone called San Antonio police to check on him after not hearing from him for days, and now the search is on for the woman who they believe took his life. This is the woman SAPD says they are looking for, 21-year-old Sasha Skare. SAPD officers were called out to these apartments on La Cantera Parkway near I-10 for a welfare check around noon Tuesday. A person told officers that she had not heard from Duren in several days and wanted police to check his apartment. When officers entered, they found Duren dead from an apparent gunshot wound. The incident is being investigated as a homicide, but this is not the first time Skare has been in trouble with the law.
We're looking for Sasha Skare. She is currently wanted for aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon.
KENS 5 learned the 21-year-old suspect is connected to a deadly drug deal in Austin from 2019. In a press conference held in late 2019 by Austin police officials, a spokesperson said Skare was wanted for aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. She had allegedly played a role in a drug deal that resulted in the 33rd homicide in Austin of that year. One person died in that shooting. Austin police put out this flyer asking for the public's help to find her. She was arrested shortly after. According to online records, Skare has been out on bond since January.
Now the search is on for Sasha Skare, who San Antonio police believe shot Duren. There is an active murder warrant out for her arrest, and on an Instagram page, which appears to be operated by the 21-year-old, you can see people telling her to turn herself in. While investigators are convinced Duren was a victim of homicide, the question still being asked by so many tonight.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb ties. We on our way to Texas with it. Manor, Austin. Then we gonna end up in San Antonio where shit is gonna get real wicked. Now, I feel like this episode needs a slight explanation because with this mob tie shit, we cover everything that has to deal with the streets, from the street legends to the dudes that ran it up to $1 million, to the people that had it all and risked it all for whatever, to just the stories of, well, just like tragedies. And I'm gonna consider or classify this story almost as a tragedy where well, almost all of the stories are a tragedy, but some just seem more tragic than others. And today we are going to be covering a female by the name of Sasha Skare, and a little bit about her. She was presumably from Texas, because I couldn't find a lot of information on her background, but her media coverage and the incident she was involved with all was in Texas within that radius that I explained. And she was also a music artist, almost in the lane of, I want to say a Dej Loaf, kind of a Jill Scott, almost kind of something like that. Almost not a rap artist, almost like a crossover R&B artist, blending in the rap. Now, what stood out about her story, mainly to me, was a tragic 3-year period that started in late November, on November the 29th in 2019, until the early parts of this year in January 27th, 2021. And I'm going to try to explain and break down and connect everything. And I'm going to let y'all decide. Because, yeah, I'm ranking this up there with Javaris Crentington. I'm ranking this up there with, gosh, it's just, it's so tragic. It's hard to just put it. So I'm going to let y'all be the judges. So back in November of 2019, authorities responded to a place in Austin, Texas, where they found one person dead. They found another person injured in what was presumably a double shooting. Now, after investigation of this double shooting, police learned that Sasha Skare and her then boyfriend were on, I guess, a mission to buy weed, where it somehow turned to a robbery, where the person that they was there to buy the weed from
would end up being the person dead, she would end up being charged in that crime. But she would somehow be released on bond or bail, which kind of, in this case, might not have been a good thing. Because fast forward about 4 or 5 months later to the late end of March in 2020, paramedics are going to respond at 7:16 p.m. to a house in Manor where explosion pretty much had took place. They're going to say it was some kind of gas line was being ran from a propane tank through a home, and it was leaking while residents lit a cigarette or something. The entire house exploded, causing the 3 people inside the house to suffer from 40% pretty much first and second degree burns on 40% of their bodies. So they were all in critical condition. It was 2 males, 1 female. The female being Sasha Skare. And who knows, I'm not sure. I couldn't find any information on her treatment or anything like that, or as far as who is liable for that situation. But fast forward to the end of January of this year, January 27th, and she was going to be identified as a person of interest in the murder of a guy by the name of Martel Darion, who it was rumored, he was rumored to be Beyonce's cousin. So that kind of gave this pretty much murder case a little bit of extra coverage. But she was arrested for that and would subsequently be charged and facing first-degree murder charges on that. So this is a story that I felt like had to be told. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. It's your boy Popalot, POP_A_LOT. We gonna be back with some more real Trill Spill shit. Make sure y'all hit the bell and subscribe. Y'all comment below who we need to cover, where we haven't been. Y'all message me on Instagram. And you already know what it is. It's the Mobb. Mobb ties.